Hi, I'm Dave McShafery. I'm sorry I couldn't be at the meeting in Oklahoma, but I wanted to introduce you to the 2024 DSA meeting in Marietta, Ohio. You might be wondering why Marietta? Well, in 2002, we were across the river in West Virginia at the DSA meeting, and Gerald Daigle asked me, "What's that town across the river?" I told him that's Marietta. He asked me, "Do we have a good Mexican restaurant there?" Turns out we do. And Gerald said we should have a meeting there. So I thought about this for a while. Gerald kept asking, and I kept wondering, why would anybody want to come to Marietta to see the boring odes that we have there? Well, in 2018, Kurt Mead came down to keynote at our meeting, and on a field trip, he called me over to look at something he had found. And he said, "Is this what I think it is? That'd be a lifer for me." And a light bulb went off. Maybe some of the things we have would be interesting to people from other parts of the country or from this hemisphere. So in 2024, we'll be in Marietta. It's a historic town going back to the Adena and Hopewell cultures, various Native American tribes, settled in 1788 by Revolutionary War veterans. We'll be housed primarily at Marietta College. As I said, historic, the Hopewell culture goes back quite a ways. This is one of their earthworks, many of which are preserved in town. This one is in the center of a cemetery, and there's more Revolutionary War officers buried here than any place else in the country. It is a very historic town. In the summer, cruise boats come and dock here. And here you can see our river walk, which extends along the Ohio and then up the Muskingum River around the corner out of view. There's all kinds of history here, all kinds of activities. We hope you'll make this a destination trip. Maybe bring the family along, as there's a number of things that can be done while you're out looking for dragonflies and damselflies. Some of these things are historic, and some are a little bit more active, but there's a lot of things going on. In terms of dining, we have good local non-chain restaurants of various types. We have most of the main chains, and of course we have Mexican. For our banquet, we are looking at either a fancy picnic on the grounds of Marietta College or perhaps a river cruise with a catered meal. Housing, we have rooms reserved, single and double rooms on campus, possibly some family accommodations as well. Some of the rooms are apartment-like. Off campus, there's numerous chain hotels, and there's two non-chain hotels that are very interesting in walking distance of campus. B&Bs, camping too. This is Marietta College campus and the McDonough Auditorium where we'll have the meeting. These would be the dorms. I'm not sure exactly which dorm we'll be in yet. It's kind of like Tetris. They have to fit us in with other groups, and they want to keep us all together for obvious reasons. Here's the historic Lafayette Hotel and the Hackett Hotel, the two non-chain hotels in town. Very interesting. And of course, the chain hotels are out by Interstate 77, including a few that aren't on the map here, like Red Roof Inn, things like that. Our term of art when it comes to travel is that we're centrally isolated. On the other hand, that means we're within an 8-hour drive of a large number of cities. If you stretch that out to 10 or 12 hours, most of the East Coast and out probably to the Mississippi River. So a lot of people might find it comfortable driving here, especially when you look at some of the field trips we have and how they're going to be organized. If you're going to be flying, we've got you covered there too. Every day, thousands of flights take off from across the country, across the globe, and they fly directly over Marietta and go on to their destinations. But seriously, there are a number of airports within easy driving distance. Columbus, about 2 hours, Pittsburgh, 2.5, Cleveland, 3 hours. There are also some smaller airports, including one right across the river in Parkersburg. For the field trips, our main field trip will be up the valley of the Little Muskingum River. It's the largest river in Ohio that does not have a major town on it. It's mostly within the Wayne National Forest, and there are a number of national forest sites which give us access to the river. In addition to the river sites, there are also a few lentic sites as well. You can go up the river and stop and sample and then come back via the Ohio River, or maybe explore some headwater streams, or do it in the reverse order. In addition, there's a smaller stream that comes into town, Duck Creek, and of course the Muskingum River. We'll have field trips on both of those, as well as additional trips to the west and the north. This is the Little Muskingum River, or as I call it, the Little Macromia River. The U.S. Forest Service sites, again, make it accessible and wadeable. The Muskingum River is considerably larger. It has a number of dams on it. Right below the dams, there's some good habitat, and we have a partnership with the Conservancy group that has property in 2 of those locations, including this one just outside of town. There's a large gravel bar down by the river, and you can hike down to that and explore that area. It's a good spot looking for dragonflies and damselflies. This is Duck Creek, a small stream that comes into town. Several sites accessible along here, including this one, which I find really attractive, very wadeable, a lot of good species here. In terms of our field trips, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We have volunteers in corners of the state to take you to some of their local best spots, whether it's in the Northwest around Toledo with the Lake Erie Marshes, the Oak Openings, the Maumee River, or the Northeast with bogs, kettle hole lakes, very clean streams. The area in red along the Tuscarawas River and some of the other tributaries of the Muskingum. Central part of Ohio around Columbus with Big Darby Creek. The southwest with Cincinnati, Dayton, a number of rivers come together there. That big yellow circle at the bottom of the state is Adams County, which is its own botanical and zoological world. And then that little circle is Cedar Bog. This is Cedar Bog, which is actually a fen. It is a very good habitat, very unique place with lots of boardwalks. This is where you go to see the elfin skimmers and a number of other unique species. Big Darby Creek near Columbus. The Tuscarawas River. It runs along the Ohio and Erie Canal. There's a developing trail system there, a number of good access points. Singer Lake Bog. This is in the northern part of the state. It's owned by the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. Hopefully we can get access there. But we will have access to several kettle hole lakes, including Lake Kelso and Snow Lake. Now, depending on what you want to see, I would advise you to go to Odonata Central or find our project, the Ohio Dragonfly Survey on iNaturalist. Put in the species that you want to see when and where they're flying, and plan your pre and post trips accordingly. We should see comet darners, swamp darners, the black saddlebags will be flying, Carolina saddlebags, red saddlebags, a number of different pennants will all be in the air at the same time. The swift setwing, which is new for our state. Spangled skimmer. Blue-faced meadowhawk. The double ring pennant, another new one for Ohio. Blueberry dragonfly, the slaty skimmer. Prince basket tails will be on the wing. The Vesper bluet will be out in the evening. A whole host of other bluets will be flying, including the stream bluet. And perhaps the rainbow bluet will be hanging on. There's one place in the state near Cedar Bog, in that area, where you might be able to see up to 7 species of dancer flying on the same day, including the Paiute dancer, which is new to our state. It comes from out west and might be of interest to some of the people from the east, although some of you might be seeing it in Oklahoma right now. Sphagnum sprites and the eastern red damsel should be out. So too the citrine forktail. The lily pad forktails, we have several good sites for them. Aurora damsel may still be flying. The American ruby spots will just be starting. And a number of lestids will be on the wing. Maybe even a gray petal tail or two. Now I'm a gomphid kind of guy. The jade clubtail is new to our state, again coming in from the west, and that may still be flying. 2 species of spiny leg. And the plains clubtail, which is a success story for us. This was endangered in Ohio. Our surveying has moved it off that list. And we have one site on the Tuscarawas River where you can see the plains as well as 2 other Gomphoris species at the same time. Really like the common sand dragon, and it is common along the Little Muskingum River. Russell-tipped clubtail may be found along the Muskingum. And of course, we've got the big dragon hunter and the little eastern least clubtail, the rascal of the riffle. Maybe the star of the show will be the Swift River cruiser. Very common on the Little Muskingum River, which I often call the Little Macromia River. So that's it. I hope we will see you in 2024 in Marietta, Ohio.